If you watching this video right now have a personal credit score under the 700 and you are dreaming of getting that 75, 85, or even $100,000 in funding, even if your credit score looks like a train wreck, then this is your step-by-step video guide. In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how one of my clients, Jacob, was able to pull this off. Starting with a 500 credit score, a bunch of collections, late payments, and barely any credit history. So what I want you to do is go grab your pen and paper. No, seriously, go grab your pen and paper. And without further ado, let's dive in. All right, ladies and gents, so meet Jacob. Obviously, I'm not gonna show you what Jacob actually looks like, but let's just say that this is Jacob. But Jacob owns a small laundry business and wants to actually scale. He wants to have more than one location and he really wants to just try to scale everything to the moon. But his credit report, yes, his credit report was trash, like I stated in the beginning. His scores were actually in the 500s across the board. Because just like him and a lot of other people that get on these calls, they always ask me, hey, what are my options as far as getting, business funding or anything of that nature? And I always ask them like, hey, what are your credit scores? Like what are you trying to do? And they always tell me, well, I'm not trying to use my credit scores because my Paydex looks awesome. Same thing Jacob said. And I'm like, look, if you're looking for, the high clean levels of funding without having so many headaches of multiple, payments throughout that month, no safety net, then you're going to have to get your credit scores in order. It took a lot of convincing, but he definitely understood. He was like, let's just go ahead and get this journey over with so I can get the money that I'm looking for so I can scale. And I said, all right, let's go ahead and do it. So the first thing that I did was, of course, roll him into the Howtocredit Start program. And that's probably the same thing you're going to need to do because he had no idea how to really dispute the things off his credit report. He really didn't have time because he was low on, I think he was low on workers. So he did a lot of things within his business. So he really didn't have time to send out letters, and that's totally understandable. That's the whole point of the program. But in our first consultation, I told him exactly what he needs to do. So we would have to, of course, dispute every negative on his credit report, remove all these late payments, clear out these collections, and clean up the report from top to bottom. All right. But this is important, ladies and gents. While the repair is happening, you need to build your credit at the same time. But disclaimer, okay, disclaimer. While your credit report is full of negatives, your options for improvement at that time may be extremely limited. I get a lot of people that's in the program now or about to be in the program like, hey, what can I do to kind of make this situation better? Can I go apply for this and apply? It's like, no, you can't because you have so many negatives across the board. Even if you try to go apply for another credit card, there are even some times where you try to apply for another secure credit card and they will deny you because of how bad your credit report is, which is crazy because the whole point of a secure credit card is to start restructuring, rebuilding your credit. But a lot of times they'll deny you for that. So sometimes you have to sit there and just wait until some of the process is done, and then we can go for a lot of different, credit process, start building things out. Sometimes you have to be patient in the beginning because we're not in that era no more where you can just stack 8 credit builders and then expect $100,000 in funding. Nah, you need more than that. Kickoff is not going to get you $100,000 in funding. I'm sorry to let you know. And you need structure, timing, and strategy, okay? But luckily for Jacob, he was a Navy Federal fan, aka he was a part of Navy Federal. So we just got him started with a few pledge loans. And the reason why we use pledge loans is because, of course, pledge loans really don't, there's no hard pull on your credit report. It's really just a secure savings loan that helps you build out your profile. Now with the pledge loans, these are small but very, very effective. Secure savings loan, aka the pledge loan, it's going to report positive payment history while I was working and repairing his credit. And that helped with some diversity on his file as well. And then a few months after that, I had him open another secure savings loan with DCU Credit Union. This added more positivity to his credit report, aka just another positive trade line. Now, if you don't know anything about, pledge loans, secure savings loans, it's basically just collateral from what you already have established in your savings account. So, just for example, if, let's say you have $500 in your savings account and you want to convert that into a pledge loan or DCU, secure savings loan, or anything like that, they'll use that money and save whatever it is, and they'll convert that into a pledge loan. So the $500 will now become a pledge loan. Sometimes you do get your $500 back with Navy Federal. A lot of times with DCU, you don't. But what you can do is you can easily pay that off, pay off 90%, and then have the rest on auto pay. So now it shows that you have good payment history with this loan. So when you go apply for any other type of loans, personal or business, now it shows that you can handle consumer debt and you can pay things back on time. Does that make sense? So now that we have the Navy Federal, we have the DCU Credit Union, both reporting positive payment history, this is the power of building while repairing. Again, these were the only things that he could do at this time, but it was still very helpful. Now, once Jacob's, TransUnion was clean, this is when I told him to go apply for another high limit credit card with Navy Federal, because in case you didn't know, Navy Federal pulls from TransUnion on the personal side. And here's the reason why I told him to go get a high limit credit card with Navy Federal. So if your highest credit card is only $500, aka a $500 limit, don't expect big time funding on the business side, all right? You have to look lendable and you need to have comparable credit, okay? So if you have a high limit, then you expect a high limit on the business side. So when Jacob applied for a high limit credit card with a Navy Federal, he got approved for $25,000 on the personal side. Now, this was a major turning point, major. So now, after some months of repairing the credit, we were able to get him no negatives, no inquiries, positive payment history from multiple lenders with high limit credit cards. So that comes from DCU and then also Navy Federal. And at this point, his scores were in the 700s. So what does that mean? That means he was able to now transition into the business funding mode. So ladies and gents, you have to understand that your personal credit report has to be in order. It's not about your score. It's about your profile, okay? You can have an 800 credit score, but if you never had anything on your report, you are not going to get what you are looking for. Now, are there outliers? Yes, but don't think that's your homeboy just because he got approved with an 800 credit score and the only thing he's ever had was a gift card for some reason that reported to his credit report from any of these establishments, and he paid it off and he got $100,000 in fund. Don't think that that's going to happen to you. That's rare. It doesn't always happen, okay? So make sure that you get your personal credit report in order before you go to the business side. But anyway, let's go ahead and start with the first place that I told him to go, which was the Chase business credit cards, okay? Now, the reason why we went to Chase first is because, of course, Chase has the 524 rule, and he already had 2 credit cards open in the last 24 months. So we were just like, you know what, let's go ahead and get them out the way, try to get some type of business, credit cards, just in case you want to get some more personal credit cards or anything like that. So that's what we did initially. And of course, in the region that he was in, they did pull his Experian. Now, we used my relationship manager to get him approved, and the approval was $60,000 at 0% interest. Yes, 0% interest for the first 12 months. This was a very, very good start, ladies and gents. Just by cleaning that personal credit profile, out the gate, $60K approval, 0% interest the first year. Tell me that would not help you right now. Also, I just want to let you know, in certain cases, sometimes they will, and I'm talking about Chase, they will pull your TransUnion as well, or they might pull your TransUnion depending on where you are. Like I stated in a lot of my videos, when I first applied a few years ago, they pulled my Experian and my TransUnion. A lot of times they just pull Experian, but I just want to tell you again, make sure you have all 3 bureaus clean so you don't have any hiccups, okay? You never know when they're going to change up. Now, once we got the approval, everything was signed off, we went and we wiped the inquiry right after. The reason why is because the next stop was the same exact thing. We're going to rinse and repeat this at PNC Bank. And PNC Bank pulls from Experian in his area. So we went in with a strong credit profile with no recent inquiry on Experian. And next, we got them approved for $14,000 at 0% interest for 13 months. 1 more month more than Chase, all right? And it's actually kind of crazy because this is like my 3rd time getting somebody approved for $14,000 on the mark with PNC. It's never 15, it's never 20. It's kind of weird. I don't know. And then also, I just want to let you know, in a lot of cases, PNC is looking for that super high, credit score. Sometimes I've even seen it where they want like a 760, 770 and things like that before they get you approved, especially if you don't have any type of business relationship with them. So, I just want to throw that out there, before we, continue to keep going, just to add a little, data point. Now that's $60,000 from Chase, and we have $14,000 from PNC Bank, all within a year of 0% interest. And we were not done. Jacob just stated that he wants a little more capital to maximize his business moves. And this was his choice as well. He said that he wanted to get a major personal loan. Now, let me just be clear, disclaimer. I don't always, and I really don't recommend using personal loans for business purposes unless you know how to manage risk. And he knew how to keep his payments on track. I think it was something along the lines of like something in the laundromat industry. If you have like a high personal loan or something like that on your credit, he said something along. I can't remember. That's why I'm not really saying it in the video. I gotta ask him, but he stated that he wanted a high personal loan just to add up everything as far as there instead of just having just the credit cards, because he knew he was in the first wave and it would be kind of hard for him to get business loans as far as right now. But he wanted to get a personal loan. I said, hey, that's fine. Let's go ahead and go to my rep so we can go ahead and get you a personal loan. So now we went to my personal rep on the personal side and we were able to get him approved with $35,000 pulling from TransUnion. So with that being said, that means that we have, let's add it up, Chase, 60,000. We have PNC, 14,000. And we have the personal loan of $35,000, okay? That is a total of over $100,000. That's $109,000 in business funding. And this whole journey again started in the 500s and you only needed 3 inquiries. That's it. And they never knew about each other. And also, I just want to drop this gem on you as well. When it comes to business sequences, like I know I have my Fun 5 sequences that I give certain people, and all the Fun 5 sequences are kind of different from each other. Always remember this. You never want to go, horizontal when it comes to funding journeys. You always want to go vertical, all right? And what I mean by that is you don't want to go experience, and then try to get, funding. Even though I wiped the inquiry before we went to PNC, you don't want to make that a habit because there are certain secondary lenders that tell these lenders, even when you wipe the inquiry, what have you been doing, okay? So you want to go kind of, this way and not this way. So instead of just doing, TransUnion, you want to do Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, maybe wipe the inquiries. Then you want to do it again, then again, until you get the desired funding that you're looking for, okay? You never want to go down. You always want to go, across. That's what you always want to do. So understand this. And again, just to reiterate, started with a 500 credit score, bunch of late payments, bunch of collections, and almost no credit history. So let's go ahead and recap this. Jacob cleaned his credit report, built new trade lines the right way, not authorized user. We're talking about primary trade lines, opened high limit personal credit cards, and then walked straight into 100,000 plus in business funding. You cannot tell me that those laundromats are not about to take off. And this just didn't happen by luck. It happened with proper strategy. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, man, that sounds great, I wish I was able to do this, but this is a lot. I don't know where to start. Even with the video, I'm gonna try, but I just don't know how to credit. Then it's okay, I got you. Because what I want you to do is click the link below and sign up for the How to Credit Start program so I can help you get the funding that you're looking for. Whether you're in the beginning stages or you already have the credit profile and scores, but you just need somebody to walk you through this, I can help you with this and give you the same exact business relationship managers that I use for Jacob, and I can use it for you. It maybe even get you even more funding than what he got. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I really hope that this helps you, and make sure you click that link below so you can get $100,000 in funding as well, all right? And until next time, ladies and gents.